Shot clock. Right now we're counting down with the 1 minute to play. This crowded 1573 arena. They're ready for it.
Percent. Grigor Dimitrov to serve. Ready? Play.
It's not how you want to start your slam with a double. Talk about changing patterns, Janko, for Grigor Dimitrov. What do you expect from him today in terms of what he's going to be looking for?
He's, as I said, a very all-court player. He has great forehand and backhand, but he doesn't really punish often enough. The Federers or the Nadals, they can really put a ball away easier than he can. So I think for him going forward in 2019, he's going to have to stick to his basics, but also go for it a little bit more.
A lot of players who tell me that the first time coming back from a prolonged injury like Tipsarevic is, it's catching up to the serve in the first few games and just getting that timing back. Tipsarevic is going to have an early look here.
13-14.
First 3-point for him. That was huge.
Yeah, the 3 regular rallies Dimitrov has lost. He has won 3 easy points of serve.
Yep. Late getting around to hit that forehand. It's another unforced error from Dimitrov. Second break chance for Tipsarevic.
You see this little bandage on Dimitrov's right upper arm, actually. This comes from underneath his shirt.
Yes.
He has put in a lot of effort in the last few months, weeks, getting into this season. It's also nerve-wracking if you don't start off well.
Yeah.
You really want to show it in the first couple of games.
And surely on top of that, knowing Tipsarevic might not be at the highest level of fitness, prepared to go 5 sets, you want to put that seed of doubt in his mind early.
Because he surely is still a tough competitor, as he has always been.
It wasn't easy, but Dimitrov does get an opening hole. 1 love, 1573 arena. bandages, a little bit of bandage on the left knee for Janko Tipsarevic. As he prepares to serve here at love 1.
That's a very smart shot. That's a testing shot, this last one, to see how Tipsarevic is moving around the court. Normally his backhand is really the steady side. It's a really strong side. His forehand can be aggressive, but also he's making more mistakes of the forehand side.
That's a good ball. Off of the back heel there.
It's all about trying to find your comfort on the court, isn't it? If you've been out there for a year and a half, haven't played much, you just want to feel comfortable, because he will recognize the feeling of playing these matches.
Janko, as we mentioned, he did play in Kooyong. Got that exhibition against Jason Kubler. But it's a different speed here, isn't it?
It's a different speed, also under these circumstances, and it's a different pressure.
Really unable to find his footing is Tipsarevic, and break chances now for Dimitrov.
That's what you expect him to do often. Try to wrong foot him in on the forehand corner. Try to give him a lot of angles, a lot of changing of direction.
One apiece now.
30-40.
Away from him. So both guys now 0 for 2 on their break chances. Already 5 unforced errors for Dimitrov.
Andre also maybe a little bit nervous. You think he's biting his nails? He's sitting there with a hat, but also with a black shirt. It's not something that I would choose.
No.
Tries to cover up with a white towel, but two kind of similar games. Both players having chances on each other's service game, but not converting.
Tipsarevic has not exactly been clean on the forehand, but somehow fights through and does get his opening hold 1-game-all. It's interesting, we're talking so much about Andre Agassi. We're somewhat neglecting the fact that Daniel Vălverdu is still the head of the team here. He even talked about how important it was to the leader of a team to bring in somebody and not let the ego get in the way of that. sure Danny has some emotions as well as about
50.
Andy Murray potentially playing his last match, his last tournament here in Australia as well.
Yeah, having worked with him for quite some time.
Yep. Second already.
That's a heavy shot. That's
Yeah.
a good shot. That's what you'd like to see him do more often.
30,
A little bit more angle to it, a little bit more depth. It all looks great, but it doesn't really hurt you that bad when he hits the ball. That's why he's losing often against the high-ranked players and he usually beats the lower-ranked players.
Didn't quite get enough on that approach. Tipsarevic, again, not exactly clean with the forehand himself.
30.
A little love from the net gets us to 30 all. Dimitrov noses back on the front. It is 2-1 early here, 1573 arena.
Time.
Warm day here in Melbourne. That's what you expect this time of the year in the Australian summer. Tipsarevic dealing with the sun for the first time as he serves at 1-2.
Explosiveness.
Janko, that's already 8 unforced errors for Grigor Dimitrov, 5 of them coming off of that backhand wing.
The one he misses is usually the one where after he has hit first a slice backhand and then he wants to go to a spin. So he's changing his shot selection and also the different angle. That's the one he has been missing.
Yeah, that is a bit of a stunner. That number, 9 unforced errors for Dimitrov already, just 2 for Tipsarevic.
It's okay if you have unforced errors, but if you also put a few winners against it.
Yep. He has not done that yet, just 2. Those are both of his aces. A hole to love to get us to 2-all. Yeah, I can't imagine that the Dimitrov camp is happy about how he has started this match. Still level, but this is not exactly the emphatic performance you want to see.
No, he's still trying to find his bearings too on this court, I think. Lots of things going on in your head. Not clean on his shots. Ball's bouncing quite high. See both players still struggling on their timing. If you hit a kick, it still bounces up quite high. If you slice it or if you put it a little bit more flat, it really goes fast.
It's crazy to think for Dimitrov, the last 3 Grand Slams, he's had to play a former top 10 in the first round. Obviously Stan in both Wimbledon and the US Open, and now Tipsarevic.
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit of doubt in his mind too, because he knows Tipsarevic has been a great player, just like Stan was before he was out for a long time.
Back-to-back holds to love, gets us to 3-2 in the middle of the first.
Time.
Mike Cation and Janko 𝕽𝖆𝖔𝖘 joining you here from 1573 Arena as Tipsarevic serves 2-3. Have you noticed anything yet with the footwork that troubles you?
Not really, Mike, to be frank. He's doing well.
15.
It's more that he's trying to still feel the shots, but he has not been making a lot of errors. Only 2 or 3.
That ends a run of 9 straight points on serve for Tipsarevic. 14-shot rally.
And a rare miss on his backhand, usually a steady shot. At age 34, you kind of should know what to do on a tennis court, but I think you still get nervous. It never changes.
Tipsarevic, it appears he was asking for a change with the ball people. It looks like one of our ball kids struggling a little bit with the heat down there, so he's going to actually go into the shade for a moment. Yeah, he's going to have a seat under an umbrella. Obviously, we make a lot about the players and the conditions they're dealing with. It's so crucial for, of course, the ball kids as well. Make sure they're hydrated, so that young man going to hop off court for a few minutes.
That's too bad. It was a good tactic. Just a slow first serve. High kicker out wide. Try to open the court on the forehand side. The serve has helped him so far in big moments. Already in the first game and now once again.
That's the 6th unreturned serve for Tipsarevic. Again, that one-hander from Dimitrov just looks like he's really struggling. I think you're right to adjust to some of the bounces on this court.
This one bounced really high once again. And just also to go from a slice backhand where you can really use that height pretty well, and then go from a topspin where you still have to get over the ball. It's difficult. I guess he still sees a erratic pupil in the first 6 games.
He's serving at a ridiculous clip. He's made 19 of 21 first serves so far. That's Grigor Dimitrov. Certainly has helped him as well, considering all of the ground stroke problems he's had so far. There it is again. Same pattern, isn't it?
15.
Get our first challenge of the day.
Little Hawkeye. I think it's more wishful thinking.
So as well. It's been a year and a half.
30-15.
You're allowed one. That's a fantastic backhand, forehand into the corner there. Really well struck by Dimitrov. 15 points. On a full stretch as well. The holds have become just a little bit easier here. 4-3 heading into the ball change.
Ball change. Tipsarevic has 2 challenges.
Certainly very energetic fans here at 1573 Arena for these 2 veteran players. New balls. 3-4.
15.
You can see Tipsarevic really struggling with the sun despite the shades. That second ball can always be so difficult, can it?
With the sun, you're trying to alter your stances a little bit. That's a present he gets there. I don't know if you remember the second shot he hit, his one forehand. He had an open court there with Tipsarevic still standing in the backhand side of the court, and that forehand he had there, it's not punishing. Normally, Federer would put that one away. If Nadal has that much opportunity, he would put it away. And he still had to fight for it, Dimitrov, at this point. Okay, that's the one. Now he wrong foots him on the backhand side. Beautiful inside out.
15,
But that shot where he really has the opportunity to go for it, it has to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit more punchy.
I even assume you would want a little bit more on that initial forehand from the middle of the court that just has a little bit more oomph to it instead of the two-shot combination.
I like that, a little bit more oomph.
Yeah. Has given a couple of gifts in this game. Is Dimitrov has 2 break chances.
Yeah, faults are coming now from Tipsarevic's side. He was quite steady in the first 4 or 5 games.
How good was that forehand up the line there from Tipsarevic?
That had oomph.
Yeah, it did. That's great confidence. Again, you don't have those big pressure points for a year and a half. Break point down to hit that forehand. Well done. Can't have that miss.
It's a half-hearted attempt. He knows he has to attack it, but the moment he hits it, you see his body weight and his whole demeanor is going backwards. He's like, oh, I have to, but I don't really want to.
He's used that pattern quite a bit on the deuce side, just sliding out wide and just to the open court. Has Tipsarevic chance to get us level at 4. It's not surprising. You see him when he gets the chip return, and Tipsarevic is just thinking second ball has to go right back to the backhand. No matter what type of pace, he's just going to go right back there and gets another error.
Yeah, that's the one he's been missing, Dimitrov. And also when he goes for that backhand and down the line, he's out of position.
Yes.
It's the wrong moment. When he is in position, he's a little reluctant, and when he is not in position, he really goes for it. It misses. That can be adjusted, I guess he would think, and Valverde.
But you certainly expect Grigor to be able to pick up on it and do the adjustments himself.
This is character, too.
and that's a great change in pattern. That's exactly what you're talking about. He's had the chip backhand, so he goes back to that backhand so often that it opens up the court for a forehand down the line.
He's going to go for it. That's
Absolutely.
good thinking. With another escape in the 8th game, he thinks, what do I have to lose? You know, I have to go for it. I'm not going to get it, especially on the return games.
It's now 6 straight points.
If I do get the return back in play, I might as well go for it for the next shot.
Couple steps in from Tipsarevic on top of the baseline now. It's well done back behind. Tipsarevic once again goes Dimitrov.
15-30.
A 4th forehand winner. It's well done again. The forehand up the line sets up great chance. Number 3 on the set for Tipsarevic.
But at 1 forehand, watch this one. This is a forehand. It has not much to it, not much angle. Halfway through the court, the opponent is there and he can just attack it.
The double fault finally hurts Grigor Dimitrov. Janko Tipsarevic with the break, 5-4 in the first. Well, a bit unexpected as Janko Tipsarevic gets a break in game number 9, attempting to serve now for this first set. And Janko, disheartening and disappointing start here from Grigor Dimitrov.
Absolutely, having had lots of break opportunities, even not playing at his best, and then being down a break. Makes it a long afternoon.
Finally, a little bit of frustration showing from Dimitrov as well. basketball fan. Everything seems to be going your way. Go for a little bit too much. That's the first bit of real indecision from Tipsarevic, wasn't it?
True, and it's also the real first forehand where Dimitrov really hits through the ball. Added with good length.
It was that ball, and you could see Tipsarevic just took that little half step backwards, and Dimitrov made him pay.
Widest slice. He's in command in this rally. He's dictating play, and then he goes back to this slice. Tipsarevic is not going to miss on that one very quickly. And you give away the initiative. If you're 15-30, you have to make it feel to your opponent.
Challenged very quickly.
Well, the
umpire is in doubts. He didn't overrule the linesman.
Just got enough.
Yeah.
40-30.
Set point.
Two challenges.
For Tipsarevic. Ace to close it down. How about that from Janko Tipsarevic? 6-4, first set. Certainly went a different way than we were expecting here in terms of a player in Tipsarevic who's not had a lot of pressure points in the last year and a half, and he was better at the key moments.
Yeah, he went for it. He thought, I have nothing to lose, I might as well go for it. He missed a couple halfway through the end of the first set, but then found the rhythm again. And I think he is a happy camper. He is back on court. He's won a set against Dimitrov. He has done that before, but after being out for such a long time.
Yeah, both guys had some real opportunities early. In fact, break chances for both players in the two opening service games. Dimitrov had 4 break chances total. It was Tipsarevic who was able to turn things around. He was the one taking the initiative, especially with the forehand late in set number 1. Goes after another forehand there, both inside in, inside out. And then a break in game number 9. Allowed him to take advantage. Opportunity to close out set number 1 for Janko Tipsarevic. First set in a year and a half, no problem. Take a look at some of the stats from set number 1.
Well, imagine you're losing 6-4 and you have had 81% first serves. But look at the winners compared to the unforced errors from Grigor Dimitrov's perspective. Only 8 winners, 16 unforced errors. It's not looking very good. Not converting any break points. But you still see how close it is. It's only 30 points compared to 33 over a whole set.
Tipsarevic going with the ice towel here. Grigor Dimitrov stepped off the court to change shirt.
Time.
Certainly, if you are in the Dimitrov camp right now, all of those hard yards you put in the offseason seem that they have not come to fruition here in the first set. Still very early, still a lot of work to be done. A disheartening start. Let's see if he can turn it around in set 2. The 11th backhand error.
Love 15.
Same thing here again. He has Tipsarevic on the run. He gets a, I wouldn't say easy for, but not a difficult one. And he puts it in the middle of the court. Tipsarevic right back into the rally. And he wants to open up with the backhand and he misses.
What an opening here for Tipsarevic.
15.
Number 5 on the day.
Challenge. He's got to check the mark. He sees it touch the line. You can actually see the mark on the court on days like this.
30.
Now it's almost there's pressure. He feels that he has to do more with the forehand and maybe just not handling it well. It's another break chance for Tipsarevic. 1 for 3 so far on the day.
Unbelievable kick.
That's some movement on it.
Very short in the service box and bounced so high. Tipsarevic had his feet planted.
Just 139 kilometers. That had just incredible rotation, however. At least stretching Tipsarevic.
Come on, G.
Yes.
Tough to accept if you're so close and finally putting away that first game and then double faults. to juice. Go for that one. I thought if I had to run one more time to the other side, it's going to be too much for me.
That forehand, it didn't have the heat on it, but that was a perfect spot, stretching Tipsarevic. Again, not exactly the prettiest for Grigor Dimitrov, but it is 1-love. Set 2.
We'll be happy to get through this one.
Took a look up at the sun as well. I think it's starting to be a real factor now. 1:30 local time from the far side of the court. That is definitely a bit of an issue. Wind starting to pick up just a little bit as well.
I think this is the time where Dimitrov should really try and make something happen. And let Tipsarevic know, although you won the first set, you're still far away from beating me. I'm the one who's seated, I'm the one who's there, I'm the younger one.
Guy who's already had a couple matches under his belt this year.
Also.
Janko, you see a scoreline for Dimitrov back in Brisbane against Nishikori 5-5. What pops into my head that maybe he didn't play the pressure moments very well there either, just looking at a basic scoreline without looking at too much else.
I'd look at except for maybe the 2017 season where he ended up, his highest ranking and doing so well at the World Championships. That's what you see throughout his career.
Oops.
That's a great shot. He can hit this shot so well, but you have to be confident, obviously. He doesn't hit this one as well out of the rally, but of the return he can hit this shot really well.
Look how far inside the baseline he has timed that perfectly.
Bad for service.
Just a bit long.
Janko walking this morning and also yesterday on the practice courts with a shirt with his own academy, logo of his own academy on the back.
Well, the third game where Dimitrov has had a couple of great chances. He is 0 for 4 so far. Just gives away a couple of points, and Dimitrov right away with a break to start set number 2.
Well, what I expected him to do after losing the first set, being so close in that first game, he needed to do something extra here. Tipsarevic from his side, he felt that as well,
Yeah.
and he wanted to, you know, get rid of this feeling by going for too much on his own forehand. He went for too much, trying to prevent Dimitrov from going after him.
I think on top of it, just that one moment where Dimitrov steps into a return and says, I'm going to try to dictate just a little bit more. That has a huge, huge role in that game. Second of this set already, 5th on the day.
That return, you said that big roll, it sends out a message.
Yes.
And it's the same here. You know, you're 2 love up, you just broke 15 love, and then you double fold. That also sends out a message.
After serving 81% in set number 1, Dimitrov here in set number 2 is just 5 of 13. That being said, he's up a break.
He's up a break, yes. So it's not only about first serve percentage, is it?
Long look there from Dimitrov at his camp as it's another backhand error, number 13 on the day.
Red for service.
Still imagine you're not exactly happy with that forehand from the middle of the court.
Luckily, Tipsarevic missed.
Things around quickly. 3 love. This is set number 2.
Time.
Mike Haitian, Janko Elting in the broadcast booth, and Janko, as we were just taking a break during that changeover as well, you noticed that Tipsarevic was not exactly moving well, and take a look at that, already reaching Tipsarevic at that lower back, and for a guy who's had a couple of hamstring issues, that is a troubling sign.
Yeah, or it was maybe just a strange move he just made in that forehand corner, that's possible too. But he has been missing some shots. He hasn't missed at the end of the first set, and he's down 3 love.
theoretically makes things, as you see him reach at that lower back once again, makes things much more easy for Grigor Dimitrov if Tipsarevic is limited with his mobility. That hurt my back, let alone his. It begs the question, though, Janko, why do you think he's out here right now? He's obviously at 34 has accomplished so much.
You want to start a season in Australia? Well, I really think that he felt he was ready for a new season, and if there is a new season, you want to start when everybody else starts. Although he hasn't played for a long time, he has a protected ranking within the top 100. Ranked 88, I think, is using as protected. So you want to play the tournaments where you get in. You want to choose them wisely, but at the same time, at age 34, you don't have an awful lot of time. From here, also challenges in Europe, they're not many. They're strong if you want to get some matches under your belt. He's played enough tennis, Tipsarevic, in his career to know what he has to do when he's fit enough to play and when he's on court. And you sooner or later have to get over your nerves, have to be back on court. You might as well do it here.
Now, we've been talking about Dimitrov's lack of oomph. Some of those shots now he doesn't necessarily have to. He could just place into each corner and he's going to have a few more opportunities with 3 points.
Absolutely. With less oomph, you still see that Tipsarevic is one step short now.
Yep. Just is not there.
This is an important rally for Dimitrov. Not so much that he won and he has another break point, but he went from a slice backhand to a great cross backhand, then a backhand down the line, and another big loopy deep backhand. It gives you the feeling, it gives you the spirit.
Well, he feels he's not going to be threatened. Right now it is simply the serve that is getting him enough free points just to get through this game. Where a deuce. Dimitrov thinking for a second about challenging. There's another unreturned serve for Tipsarevic.
It's important for him to hold for the serve, because if you're down 2 breaks, that's gone. But if he's still in there, you never know what happens. You still have a chance.
Tipsarevic actually thought about coming off and just calling for the Hawkeye after that return, and still questioning himself. Deuce number 3. Tipsarevic just missing long. That is the 10th forehand error for him. He has 7 unforced errors in just 4 games.
But still the serve to repair. It's a funny combination of match fitness that he's showing in the rallies. He's making errors, and on the serve he's still doing well. He's holding on.
This being said, this is not John Isner we're looking at here.
No, you would expect it from him, but not from one of the better baseliners the game has seen so far.
Has to go for it all and comes up with the goods. Tipsarevic, tough but crucial hold to 3-1.
That's well placed. Picture perfect.
Isner, by the way, you saw the first round draw, right? Isner, Opelka.
Opelka.
Two tallest players on tour. A little bit different of a match field than this one.
If you see these two guys warm up, they walk on court and they take the racket out, I think, hey, they must not take a racket out, but basketball should come. Did I enter the right stadium?
Actually, you put a couple of guys in, Nick Kyrgios and 𝕽𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖑𝖆𝖛 here from Australia, who are huge NBA nuts, both very good. Put them on a team with Riley Opelka. I don't know about Isner's fitness levels for a basketball game.
Well, he should be able to dunk just standing and just lifting his arm.
Still has to run down on defense sometimes. Suddenly Tipsarevic with a little bit more energy too, but really there was nothing from Dimitrov that challenged him.
Nothing to it. Nothing to it. It just gives him another opportunity to go for that last shot. His previous two balls right in the middle. Seeing Janko's side. Actually, the person who's sitting on the right maybe has even more influence. 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖃 on that corner. Tipsarevic preparing at Schüttler and Hordorf location. Big one. That was a big serve.
Fifth unreturned of the set, 17th of this match for Dimitrov, 37%. Ace number 7. Ball. He's going to have to go for some of those swings earlier in points, isn't he?
But also go a little bit more for second serve sometimes. As you said, it has a lot of zip to it, but not much, not much speed. 149 on second. When you really want to win this game, you're up a break. You want to show who you are.
Advantage, Dimitrov.
Dimitrov is imploring himself to show some aggression. Keeps the break lead 4-1.
Well, it was interesting what Dimitrov just showed to his coaches. Hit through, he said. And now Agassi on the side sitting there with 𝕆𝖉𝖔𝖘𝖑𝖆𝖛 and acknowledging the fact that you have to hit through the ball. Don't hit with too much spin. If you can put it away, punish it a little bit more.
Do you think it's possible for players 27, 28, 29 years of age to really change their core belief, their core being?
No, I don't. I think you can alter it maybe a little bit, but when it becomes really tight again in a match, when it gets really important, I think character always comes back. It's so difficult to change that.
It's one thing to obviously bring in Agassi, who can say, here's what I've done, here's what's worked for me. It's another for someone like Dimitrov to fully believe and accept it.
Well, he can pinpoint it, but it's difficult to change it because that's only one person who can do it.
Well, Dimitrov has it to 4-1 here. In set number 2. Certainly good on the score line, not always the best within points. I expect some aggression here in this return game to really put this second set out of reach, especially with Tipsarevic struggling a little bit with the sun from that side of the court, the far side. Serves 1-4. That's fantastic. Great stretch from Dimitrov.
Long 15.
What a shot that was. That's what he's showing, going towards the seat. Hit through the ball, not spinning it too much, but hit through it.
That felt like one of those muscle points where you just wanted to prove I can hit a little bit bigger than you in that moment. A little spinny on that backhand, wasn't it?
15-13.
Tipsarevic just stayed on that forehand side, knowing that if he reaches out like that, he goes cross court many times. Use the open court. Well played.
The eye roll from Grigor Dimitrov as another one slides by. That is ace number 5 for Tipsarevic. 3 of them coming here in set number 2. You know, he knew exactly where that ball was going to be. Dimitrov still can't do anything with it. Runs around to hit that forehand, just a flat miss. And again, a bit disheartening from Dimitrov as he clocks his 24th unforced error, 4-2.
Having had low 30 in this game.
Ball change here. New racket for Tipsarevic. First time we're really hearing from Tipsarevic on the day. Very rare trip to the net for Tipsarevic, and just a clean backhand winner for Grigor Dimitrov.
Well, he had to come forward after that ball clipped the net, but then you can see he's not a natural volleyer, because how can you play that approach shot cross court like that? It opens up the line, and also the short cross, you have to play it down the line or at least in the middle.
It was just the second backhand winner of the day for Grigor Dimitrov.
It's looking to be a nice quick game though.
Indeed it is. To hold the love to 5-2 in the second. The skyline here, looking Melbourne Park, a lot of construction downtown right now. Continue to expand in this growing city. Dimitrov has been able to continue to expand his lead 5-2 here in set number 2. It's been 6 years since Tipsarevic last played the Australian Open 2013. It looks like a completely new arena and new Melbourne Park for him, I'm sure. It's a quick challenge from Dimitrov. He's not exactly sure of it.
Well, that's also new since then, that you can use Hawkeye.
Yeah.
But the court's still the same.
Well, Dimitrov was not at all convinced he'd moved over to the ad side, but he was correct. It's a great body serve, isn't it?
It is. A little less spin, a bit more slice to it. first, Tipsarevic thought it was going to be called long, but nobody said a word. Still, tough shot there for Dimitrov. Put it away beautifully. You see, the Serb is putting in effort, as little effort as possible. He wants to keep the points a little shorter. He's going for it a little bit more. It's going well, fine. If it's not, okay, I'll focus on the next set. It's always the question, how much effort do you put in to try and fight yourself back into the second set?
It's the first of the day for Tipsarevic. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lot of effort in this particular game. Gets away with it. That was a struggle to get to that low backhand for Tipsarevic, but he does have a game point. By 3. Just having watched these last two Tipsarevic service games, I feel like this second set should have been done already. Dimitrov had left 30 in the last, had plenty of looks there.
And also, his body demeanor, you see from Tipsarevic, he wants to be as efficient as possible. But this is going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to this one.
The question, though, is Grigor Dimitrov looking forward to it? You want to see him just rush in, take it away right away?
I think these first couple of points, especially his first one, is already nice to have. They're going to be really important. If he has a quick lead in his service game, usually ends up being a completely easy service game.
39.
That's about as perfect as it gets. Set points. Clean living and a hold to love to close down set number 2, 6-3. Best of 5 becomes best of 3 at 1573 Arena. I think the Grigor Dimitrov camp, as you can see, all on their feet there, much happier with the effort of this man, the 27-year-old, in his 34th Grand Slam, and a little bit better in terms of just a little bit more interest in dictating the points in set number 2, Janko.
Yeah, that one sign he showed, I think it was at 4-1 in this set, where he said, hit through the ball. I think there was a important message he has to keep reminding himself of, because if he does hit through, it has a little bit more oomph, to use your words one more time.
Yeah, that slapped forehand that he is stretched on, he's going cross-court with it quite a bit, to some mixed success. saw a lot of errors from Tipsarevic here as the footwork slowed down, possibly a little bit of a struggle with the lower back. Easy backhand winner here for Grigor Dimitrov. Yeah, for Grigor did not serve as well in that second set, but good enough. Did not face a break chance after that opening game, and as you see the set 2 summary, serve percentage down to 53%, but the big one for me, the unforced error, is down dramatically.
Yeah, and he's has a positive record now between winners and unforced errors, although it's only a slight margin of 1, 11 to 10 from Dimitrov's side. It has been a difference, and look at break points 1. He has finally converted one. And having this one break up, I think this gave him a little bit more confidence.
These first few games of set number 3, Janko, I think are going to really tell the tale for me about whether Tipsarevic has not necessarily the heart but the legs to get through. And he'll serve to get us underway. That is an inauspicious start for him. It's just a bit of a lunge to get to that low forehand. As soon as he gets stretched, he's having to go for everything, isn't he? And Tipsarevic once again in some real trouble. It's too good. From well behind the baseline, Grigor Dimitrov to set up 3 break chances.
Seemed like he knew that where that approach shot was going. It's always so dangerous if you attack like that. If your opponent gets there, you're vulnerable at the net.
Broken the love. Tipsarevic and Dimitrov again, a break at the beginning of a set, 1 love.
Well, what Dimitrov should have done in the first set already, he's doing it now. Building up an advantage in the beginning. And you see a little different body language now from the Serb. He doesn't show an awful lot anyways, but he's gonna have to have a bit more energy.
It feels like now Dimitrov, with him being fully in control here since the beginning of set number 2, I have real questions for Tipsarevic about how he's going to be able to get back into this. Is he willing to put in that energy now? First match in a year and a half. Inexcusable.
That's great tennis. The way he prepared for that high slice backhand to hit that first forehand, that was beautiful. It's not an easy shot if you have to hit it this high. almost above your head. It wasn't lazy at all. Well prepared.
Inside the baseline, and there's the backhand, just gets away from him. Once again, it's that slice topspin combination that does him in.
If you do change from slice to spin, in this case you don't feel that comfortable yet, don't change directions at the same time.
40-30.
The serve, although percentage is lower, is getting much better. It's much more accurate. So a little bit faster.
Yeah, you'll trade 10 or 15 percentage points if you're hitting your spots better. Just a little block back. It's actually the best approach I think Tipsarevic has hit.
And down the line.
Ace of the game for Dimitrov. 13 overall now. Out of a little bit of trouble, consolidates to 2-love. Kevin Anderson has gotten through in 4 sets over Adrian Mannarino. That is a potential 4th round matchup for the winner of this one. Dimitrov, the 20 seed, in the same little portion as John Isner, who's now in action against the young American Riley Opelka for on court 8.
Challenge here. Oh, you just mentioned Kevin Anderson. How solid has he become over 2018? And also, once again, in the beginning already, 2019. Lifting his first title.
Was indeed just wide. Second straight successful challenge for Dimitrov. I would be remiss as a University of Illinois graduate if I didn't mention Illinois in a moment like that when talking about Kevin Anderson. Proud Illini myself, Janko.
Well, you should take every opportunity you have. Nice hit through it, hit through it. That's what he kept saying in that second set. And that's what he does now in this last forehand. A little less rotation, a little bit more speed.
Inexcusable error as well, this time from Tipsarevic. Yeah, it's well done. A short angle forehand.
30.
just isn't there for Tipsarevic.
30-40.
As I mentioned earlier, he's putting in less effort, and you have to put in at least enough effort to be well positioned to hit every ball. Like he did on his forehand inside out, he did it very well, and he creates a winner. And if you don't do it, you either miss hit or just plain miss it.
Those combinations when he's able to get into the corners there, just continuing to prove deadly for Dimitrov, with Tipsarevic struggling a little bit with the footwork. It is another break chance, 10th of the day. And now a double break lead for Grigor Dimitrov. 3 left in the third.
Dimitrov leads 3-0. Ladies and gentlemen, the doctor has been called.
Well, the ice staying on here for Janko Tipsarevic. I believe we are waiting for the physio here.
Andre stretching his legs, just looking towards Dimitrov, but also towards his opponent, because nobody here inside the 1573 arena expected this timeout, and now we can see the trainer coming on court.
Yeah, and it was, again, you see the ice towel, you see the ice bag on Tipsarevic's head as well. It looks like a doctor being brought out as well, just to fully check on him.
And interesting enough, Dimitrov went out and just does some extra exercises, not wanting to sit down, just not feeling any pain, being up 3-love double break in the third.
Pointed at his left knee.
He's making a joke at the same
Yeah.
time because I think the trainer is laughing.
So how much of this is medical? How much of this is just dealing with the heat, being in a tough physical 3-set match for the first time in a year and a half? And again, 3, 4, 5 sets.
Yeah, then obviously having won the first set and now down double break in the third, it feels like a mountain to climb. He knows he's going to have to finish that third, and if he wants to win, he's going to have to win the fourth and the fifth. That's not easy coming back.
Yeah, it is very rare when you see somebody who struggles with their fitness in set number 3 coming from behind and then winning in 5 sets. You just don't see that.
Well, you might sometimes, but not for someone who has been out for a year and a half, and this
Yes.
is his first official match at a slam under these circumstances, with Dimitrov playing okay, not great yet, picking up his game. Let's see how much effort he puts in the first couple of points.
Yeah, so that was not treatment for a particular ailment, and not a knee, not a leg, shoulder. It was just very simply, it appears, from the heat, just the physical exertion. As Dimitrov serves 3-love.
Magnificent.
Janko, we put you back into your playing days here. You see an opponent who is struggling fitness-wise. What do?
Well, just make sure he doesn't have a clean hit on anything, so he can go for a winner. He will have this fatalistic body demeanor, and they will go for anything that they see. So just don't give them a clean shot.
So essentially just consistent pressure with good, smart targets.
That's it.
40-50.
Obviously nice to hit a lot of first serves.
And that had some rotation on it. Big forehand up the line.
Yeah, faster than his second serve. What is this? What a strange rally that was. Tipsarevic already gave up, but he got an easy shot from Dimitrov after that.
That looks like a point I'd play, and that's not good.
No, you can do better than that, Mike.
Depends on the day. Once we get into a longer rally, it's going the way of Grigor Dimitrov. Holds to 4-love.
Dimitrov wins 4 games tomorrow.
10 of the 14 rallies that have gone longer than 9 swings. The route is on.
It's tough being out there, Mike, at this moment now for Tipsarevic. If you're down 4-0, you started well and you feel there's still so much work ahead of me.
I think this is something you and I were talking about before our match started off the air, about why come back at this 5-set event instead of getting your legs underneath you just a little bit at a 3-set event.
True, but then where do you start? Do you start in either Sydney, use your protector there, or in Brisbane, or Pune, maybe in India, and play a couple tournaments there, leading into the Australian Open?
Auckland last week could have played that as well.
He decided to play the 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖑𝖆𝖛 exhibition for one match, and then straight away to best of 5. Be an interesting question to ask him in his post-match press conference.
Dimitrov content with letting that one go. It is 4-1. It's 7-3, 1573 arena. Well, Dimitrov certainly looking comfortable here as you take a look at Melbourne Park. It is absolutely beautiful. They continue to enhance the fan experience here, as well as the player experience. New player pod. Have you been up there?
I have been there. It's unbelievable.
I need to steal your accreditation for just a little bit of time to go check it out.
You can be my coach in the second week.
Dimitrov serving here at 4-1.
It's a great rally. He still puts in the effort here. Janko, he's going for it.
Love 15.
You will have to raise your level of tennis anyways. You have to become a better player within this match to have a chance, and you have to invest in that. That's what he's doing right now. All these points also go too quickly. It's also tough preparation going into the 4th. Just mentioning a new player area, new locker rooms for the men and women. Beautiful player lounge. 2 stories. Italian restaurants, sushi, bar.
I mean, you don't have to rub it in.
That's a great shot. That's been his most successful forehand actually for this match. Is wrong footing the serve, going back into the backhand corner where he doesn't expect it. Most of his forehand winners have come from this situation.
He's got 12 on the day, 6 in this set alone.
But also all the improvements for the fans.
Absolutely.
So beautiful. Also here in 1573 Arena, so many people on a hot day like this, they're sitting here watching the tennis. Outside courts jam-packed.
There was so much excitement in the city this morning. I am about a kilometer and a half away, and I ended up walking because the trams were all full. So many people getting ready for day number 1 here at the Australian Open. Slider away. 2-5-1.
Dimitrov leads 5 games to 1.
Looks like he's going to come get a new racket to go along with his change. All change. Tipsarevic will wait.
For service.
The footwork is just not there for Tipsarevic. He's trying to stretch out now the left leg. He's had some problems with the back throughout set number 2 and here into set number 3 as well. And stretching out the left leg. This is, if I'm to use a boxing term, we're throwing in the towel here. If I'm in his corner, I'm absolutely just saying it's good enough.
You can hurt yourself. I mean, if you've been out for so long with hamstring operations on both legs.
Janko, you certainly have been through these wars before when you're approaching the end of your career. Your body is not necessarily what it used to be. How do you make those adjustments in the mind?
Well, sadly, I had to stop quite a young age with my singles. I was only just 27, but it was indeed after a bad knee injury. And I was out for like 6 months, tried to come back, and then you still feel the pain at some stage. It's tough to get over. You always have that hope, don't you? You always have that hope that it might go away, or your opponent starts doing strange things. He might get hurt. Sounds a little bit harsh, but
yeah. That's well done.
What has happened to all of us as well is that you're not feeling great yourself, and then you look to the other side of the net and you see an opponent who's struggling maybe even more than you. But that's not the case right now. On the other hand, I think Dimitrov, having lost to Tipsarevic 4 times, is not so sure yet.
A couple of really good backhand slices there from Dimitrov, spotting himself in the corner. Oh boy, it's just painful to watch. Set point now for Dimitrov.
Advantage, Dimitrov.
Well, you don't want to give up, don't you? I mean, you use your protected. You want to play. You want to play the game you love. You want to work.
And the double fault will end set number 3. Dimitrov actually looking over at Tipsarevic just to see if he was going to tap out there. But he's got the lead nonetheless, 2-1 here at 1573 Arena.
Well, you don't want him to tap out, but on the other hand, you have to be very conservative with your energy in a 2 weeks event under these circumstances. So every set you don't have to play is a good set, especially if you're given it. Look at the first serve percentage once again from Dimitrov, 45%, but you know, hitting his aces here and there, hitting better spots, up with the winners, 2 unforced errors. But you look at Janko Tipsarevic, 9 unforced errors to 3 winners only.
Yeah, you can just sense with him struggling with the footwork, be it the hamstring on the left side, be it the lower back, he just doesn't have that same energy to dictate anything here. So it would have to take a Grigor Dimitrov, I think, meltdown, breakdown, whatever you want to call it, to be able to potentially get through in 5 sets here. But right now, this third set, all the way of Grigor Dimitrov, just pounding away with the serve, even though that percentage was low, and having plenty of opportunity to hit forehand winners. After a pretty sloppy first set, he has been in control now. A 30 winner, 24 unforced error count for Dimitrov. It was the double fault, though, that sealed that third set. What must be going through his mind here?
Just looking towards his box, maybe looking for some advice.
What advice do you give him? I mean, possibly here.
Well, act upon how you really feel. If it's not worth competing, stop. If you still feel you can put up a fight, continue. This is also what you have to go through to become match fit again. So
yeah,
if you haven't played for such a long time, this is also what you have to, you know, feel one more time.
Yeah, that's fair.
You have to feel that pain, that match toughness. Also knowing what would be the next step that you need to be really competing again with all the other greats at age 34.
Full set.
So fourth set will begin with Dimitrov to serve.
This. Love 15.
He has a 6-1, which you would call a blowout set, but I still don't feel comfortable with him.
That's maybe why Janko is also still continues. He feels like, you know, if I just put the pressure on, if it comes together in one game, I might get a break early in the fourth and get Dimitrov thinking.
Dimitrov unreturned serves about 40% of the time in this match now. Very high number as he hits his 16th ace.
𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖵.
Nice. He waited for a long time. And out of the corner of his eyes, he saw Tipsarevic moving to the backhand side.
Felt like the first time he really hit that backhand, didn't he? An opening hold for Dimitrov, 1-love in the fourth. Winner of this one will get 𝕆𝖆𝖵𝖔𝖘𝖆𝖛, 6-1 in the third. Yeah, 3 straight sets over Dusan Lajovic. Nice comeback story last year for 𝕆𝖆𝖵𝖔𝖘𝖆𝖛. A challenge from Dimitrov.
On the right
I was just thinking about people coming back and doing these things. You see more injuries nowadays, I think. At least players not playing events. Maybe they were as injured as often in the days before, but the longevity is prolonged. I mean, you see the players, they can play so many more years. Because of current fitness, knowledge, nutrition.
And just the fact that medical technology makes so many injuries more of a 6-month rehab as opposed to one that completely alters your career.
True.
About the fact that his career will, at the worst, or at best, I guess I should say, end at Wimbledon. I think that's what drawn so much compassion for him. He's not being able to end on his terms, and that's not something that happens very often anymore.
No. And it feels terrible, I'll tell you. It's not you who decides when to quit, but your body. Especially when you still feel you still have a lot of tennis left in you.
Yeah. Actually noise from outside of the arena entirely. Three unreturned serves for Tipsarevic in that game, and that's the first time he hasn't faced break chances in his opening service game so far on the day, 1-all.
see this last one, he was one step, or at least almost 2 steps slow. Didn't want to put the weight on one leg.
Average point length, average rally length has just continued to decrease, as you can certainly imagine. We're now down to 3.81 on the average rally length.
It's actually a big misconception still from a lot of fans that think because of the big serves that the rally length has decreased over the years, which actually has not been the case. If you compare it to like 20 years ago, rallies now are much longer on average than when they still played either on grass or more serve and volley was played.
Not surprisingly, once again, by Grigor Dimitrov, comfortable hold to 2-1.
Thank you.
Time.
As we return here, it is the government house with the flag up. That means Melbourne's governor is in.
Which is strange, he should be here.
Yeah, I know.
Melbourne Park, he should be watching tennis. Or maybe he can watch from up there, you know, if he's standing right on top of, next to the flag, he can see.
I think that's absolutely perfect. Might as well almost get the angle there. Tipsarevic 1-2.
What an awkward rally. And he can put it away and he doesn't.
50 long.
That point reminded you of something you'd see Sunday morning at your local club. It just is awkward, uncomfortable.
Painful.
For Swiss. Let for Swiss.
mentioned right now, Andre Agassi, as quiet of a man as he is screaming on the inside. Take the set away from him.
He would be the player, if you would show any emotion or any pain or lack of confidence, he would take advantage of that so easily. He would just dismantle you like a surgeon, you know, like slowly slicing you apart.
And again, the fact that Dimitrov doesn't do that, has not shown a willingness to do that today, has to be, again, gut-wrenching for the team.
Yeah.
I think it's one way to look at it. On the other hand, you should say, well, you know, he's not playing well. You know, you have put in the work, and sooner or later that will pay. And if you get through these matches, especially the ugly ones, you give yourself an opportunity. And I think that's what it is today. I think both players need to get through this. Especially Dimitrov, also having had a quarter-final last year, already being ranked. Was 27, I think, in the world at the moment.
50 long.
So he can't afford to lose more points from a quarter-final match here. It will, in some tournaments, get him out of seeding.
Better shot.
Seeding, that's important, especially at the big events. If you need the top 4 in the first or second round, that's not something that you like.
As it is, his path just to the quarterfinals here to defend his points, that would take him through NFC's hold Isner and Anderson both.
Well, these are two players who won't give you a lot of rhythm.
Nice recovery after the double fault, an ace for Dimitrov. He's back on the front, 3-2. These fans here at that 1573 arena trying to push Grigor Dimitrov just a little bit. Tipsarevic somehow just hanging around right now in our fourth set, serving at 2-3.
Love 50.
It's interesting, Janko. I'm trying to find superlatives to talk about
15.
Grigor Dimitrov, as he's obviously had his way over the last couple of sets, and yet I can't. I feel like there's more that needs to be done for him in terms of the big picture.
Maybe just need a W, regardless how. Just try and win and get it over with.
Survive and advance.
Survive and advance and play the next match. And that sometimes is already hard enough. Don't forget he lost twice in the first round at US Open and also at Wimbledon. Events where you want to do well. But these are the points as a coach, right? Somebody who's working with a player. You want to see Dimitrov in this moment, 30-all, this stage of the match. You want to see him attack. Hitting through the ball, as he mentioned himself in the second, and trying to play within the baseline. Not too much rotation. That's fantastic stuff. Good ankle opening at the court. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've seen Dimitrov follow up for an approach shot to hit a backhand volley down the line, I think only once. I don't think I've seen more volleys from him. That's fantastic. Backhand punch up the line. Seduce we go. It's not so much sometimes that you want to volley, but that you at least give your opponent another option to think about. Is he coming in? Is he staying back? That slice to work that point. We had not seen that throughout the day, just that willingness to stay with that slice and take it up the line, just slicing, dicing. This feels like match point, doesn't it? It sure does. See a serve and volley point, the first of the day, break point down, this stage of the match. And second serve too. But he did it. You know, he's taking it to him and said, show me what you got. And he missed Dimitrov.
the guts. Can't back it up.
Dimitrov.
Second of this set.
I just can't get into his mind at this moment. If he has been winning these points with slicing down the line cross, which he has been doing within this rally. Okay, he's not taking it to Tipsarevic, but why all of a sudden go for that spin again? It's the only one he has been missing, coming from slice to spin.
This is unbelievable indecision from him.
Also, this last one, he was thinking about, okay, I'm going to run around and hit a
Right.
forehand.
Yes.
And then he said, oh, no, I'm too slow. Oh, it's just hesitant, wishful thinking. He knows he can close it out right here, but
There was a call from the chair. Dimitrov was quickly going to challenge. The old rule from Emmanuel Joseph. Now you've given Tipsarevic some belief that he can keep fighting, keep playing, and not have to be at his best.
yeah, these last 3 points have put oil on the fire. Well, then there's always this naive, positive thought that you have to put in your own mind. If you're playing like Dimitrov, he knows he's not playing the best tennis he has played in his career, but he's up 2-1.
Right.
He's up 3-all against an opponent, you know, who is struggling, clearly, but surviving up to now. You're in control, you know.
Yeah, to that end, he hasn't faced a break chance since the opening game of set number 2.
You would take that any time of the week.
15.
Every time when it's to chance to put it away, this double fault has come at 15 love a few times.
That's
break
two in a row as well.
Yeah. When they come at moments where you can really put away your opponent.
Yeah, I think if you're a coach, from a coach's perspective, you're willing to live with either maybe a couple of mental side problems or maybe some physical, technical problems. If you have both combining on a day, what do you work on in your day off?
Yeah.
That's well done.
Usually if you work on one, sometimes the other one comes automatically. Like
30.
with him, I just would work on that this last backhand. Just in practice, just give him 10, 15 ones where he just put that backhand down the line as a winner. Just to give him that feel and that confidence.
Seems like it would just be a drill. First ball slice, backhand, second ball over the top, over and over and over again.
If you do it too much, though, it gets into his head too.
Right. The fragility of tennis players.
For us, it's better to be staying here in the booth and be a commentator instead of a coach, Mike.
Deuce.
Expected that cross. At least I did, but Tipsarevic just frozen right in the middle of the court. Just not been pretty for Grigor Dimitrov, but stays out in front. We're on serve.
4 games to 3. Time.
𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖑 and Janko 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖆 at 1573 Arena, the beautiful skyline. Melbourne overlooking Melbourne Park. Well, the skyline's pretty. Tennis here on 1573 Arena has not always been. It's definitely been a first round matchup between two guys who do know each other well, and at times the play's been sloppy. Tipsarevic, though, he's got a little bit of belief, maybe just a little bit of momentum. Let's see if he can continue pushing forward. 3-4.
Frustrating if you've been doing this in practice for like a couple of weeks and you've been doing this every day and he's maybe hit 3 or 4 in the entire match.
30.
Hit the line. Is going to challenge, or was he too late already to be able to challenge?
It's the 10th unreturned serve for Tipsarevic in this set out of 23. Considering how woeful Tipsarevic has been, anytime you get to 4 or 5 swings, the fact that Dimitrov has not been able to make him play throughout this 4th set is got to be incredibly frustrating. Seem to be coming off that backhand side as well.
Good depth in the service game. Got Dimitrov off guard a couple times.
Yes.
And I'll take depth and precision at any time over speed. Also within the rally. waiting for the balls to come over to this side of the court.
Yeah, ball change, in fact. Of course, we've had a ball change here at the Australian Open. Dunlop product.
I think Dunlop not only here in the Australian Open, but also the Tour, the ATP Tour. Could be the Tour ball, I think, for 2019 and onwards.
Perfect.
He put his finger up.
He did.
But I think the umpire was so surprised that because the ball was inside the court, why he would even bother challenging this one. The umpire just didn't get it.
Can't blame him. That's well done. A little punch up the line.
30-50.
But once again, 30 love up. It's Tipsarevic who is the first one to be able to throw the punch, and not the one who's serving.
Oh, fantastic on a full stretch. Knows it's back out in front. 5-4. Well, Janko, this is, yeah, absolutely on a full stretch. He's been going cross with this particular ball throughout the match. But might be his best.
Usually he hits it a little bit more flat because he has the ball behind him. This one he was just able to hit a little bit in front of him. A little rotation there. He did it beautiful. I admire him. He's been hanging in there, although he was hurt, clearly hurt. Not having a lot of match experience, and still he's in there. The fourth set.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question whatsoever about his heart. But a completely different story with the legs. Well, now a little bit of scoreboard pressure for Tipsarevic to deal with. He is serving from behind here at 4-5 to try and stay in the Australian Open 2019. Well, that's been the real question for Dimitrov here in this set. Can he make Tipsarevic play on serve? Gets into the meat of a point. Tipsarevic breaks down. There, he's got it. An excuse me return, an excuse me winner.
If he puts up his hand after that return to say sorry, I don't think he means it.
Tipsarevic just a half step, maybe 3 steps slow getting to that short return.
Great reaction from Tipsarevic at love 30. 15-30.
This was actually a great pass, but Clifton had good hands. There was really soft hands he showed there.
He's shown a willingness to come forward at some really crucial times throughout this 4th set.
Again, and now he has the easy volley.
15.
He doesn't put it away.
Pair of match points for Dimitrov. He's 0 for 2 on his break chances in this set. Not surprising that it's just a very flat serve to the backhand wing of Grigor Dimitrov. Another miss. It is survive and advance today for Grigor Dimitrov. 4-6, 6-3, 6-1, 6-4 over Janko Tipsarevic. To the delight of this crowd here at 1573 Arena. Not his prettiest match, but he does move on for the first time at a slam to the 2nd round since last year's French. Well, the team, Janko, I'm sure from a coaching perspective, you're happy he gets through, but there are plenty of things to work on today, and that sometimes can actually be a positive.
Exactly, and then maybe everybody should just shut up and don't say a word after this match and just say, thank you, well done, recover and move on, in this case. Lucky he doesn't have to continue it within the heat. Tomorrow he has the day off, easy training. The work has been done, in off-season, so it's just getting your heart at the right place.
And the confidence to do it again at the highest levels. This man will have a long road back. His fitness questioned a little bit here today. His heart never was. Kept battling despite the fatigue, despite the heat issues that he dealt with. Was there until the very last point. But it is Dimitrov who is moving on. Sign a few autographs here before the crowd at 1573 Arena. Stats, I don't know if this is going to tell the most full picture of this match.
No, what I find interesting is that with this 4th set, the unforced errors actually creeped above the winners for Dimitrov. He still has 43 unforced errors and 42 winners, a negative stat. And still winning quite comfortably in 4. And net points won 5 out of 6. I mean, they were not really net points. They were sometimes where he was kind of moving forward and didn't have to play the volley. And I think he should have done that much more often. Try to follow up sometimes. But all in all, bad day in the office. It's a W. Continue. Play better next time.
Yeah, certainly the result you want. regardless of the form. So it is Grigor Dimitrov moving on here at the Australian Open 2019.